Let's talk about something most of us probably don't think twice about, but it's something that can have a huge impact on our lives: our council tax bill. It seems like a simple piece of admin, right? But getting your name right on this one document is absolutely crucial, and we're about to break down exactly why.
So let me ask you this. Is the most important bill that lands on your doormat actually lying about who you are? Because if your name has changed, maybe you got married or divorced, but your bill hasn't, then that piece of paper doesn't reflect your true legal identity. And that can cause real problems.
And we're not just guessing here. This entire breakdown comes to us courtesy of the specialists at ProTax Accountant. They've put together this guide to make what can seem like a complicated process, well, clear and simple. So here's what we've got on the agenda today. First, we'll look at why this bill is so much more than just a piece of paper. Then we'll dive into the high cost of doing nothing. After that, I'll walk you through a step-by-step guide. We'll look beyond the council bill, cover some common mistakes, and finally, talk about when it's a good idea to call in the experts. Okay, let's get straight into it. So why all the fuss? Why is this bill more than just a request for money? Well, because in the eyes of the law, it's a key document. It's tied directly to your identity and, crucially, to your legal responsibilities. We all know council tax funds essential local services like schools and bin collections. But here's the part people forget. It's also a legal receipt. It officially points a finger and says, this person is financially responsible for this property. A mismatch here creates a serious gap between who you are and what you're legally tied to. And this isn't some small-time system we're talking about. Just last year, councils in England collected over £36 billion in council tax. With that much money flowing through the system, you can start to see why they need every single record to be perfectly accurate. All right, now let's look at what happens when things don't line up. This isn't just about getting a little slap on the wrist. The real-world consequences of an outdated name on that bill can be incredibly frustrating and surprisingly costly. You know, a simple name discrepancy can trigger a complete domino effect right across your financial life. It starts with one tiny tile tipping over, but it can quickly knock over some much, much bigger pieces. So stay with me here because understanding this part is absolutely crucial. So, what are these dominoes? Well, first up, credit checks. Lenders cross-reference all sorts of data, and a name mismatch can be a huge red flag. Thinking of applying for a mortgage? A delay caused by this could literally cost you a better interest rate. And if you're claiming benefits like universal credit, they check council records. A different name could lead to an outright rejection. On top of all that, you could even face fines or just struggle to prove where you live.
Let's make this real for a second. Meet Simon Clark. He's a marketing consultant in London. After he got married, he put off updating his council tax bill. He thought, it's just a bit of minor paperwork. I'll get to it. As he quickly found out, that was a big mistake.
Here's the risk in plain numbers. Simon's annual bill was about £1,600. Now, he updated his bank account to his new married name, but he forgot the council tax bill. This meant his direct debit was at risk of failing, which could have slapped him with a £70 late fee. It's a small, totally avoidable cost, but it's a sign of much bigger potential problems. Okay, enough about the problems. Let's shift gears and talk about the solution. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to get your name changed on your council tax bill the right way with no fuss.
So when do you need to spring into action? The rule of thumb is pretty simple. If your legal name changes, or if the people responsible for paying the bill change, the council needs to know instantly. This obviously includes marriage or divorce, a legal name change via a deed poll, or if, sadly, someone on the bill passes away. And for landlords, this is also crucial when your tenants change.
Now, the council isn't just going to take your word for it. You're going to need proof. So, depending on your situation, make sure you have your marriage certificate, your decree absolute for a divorce, or your official deed poll paperwork ready to go. You'll also probably need a standard proof of ID, like your passport or driving license.
And here is a pro tip that could save you a massive headache. Always, always send photocopies or scans. Never, ever post your original documents unless the council absolutely insists on it. Trust me, trying to get them back can be a total nightmare. The process itself is actually surprisingly straightforward. Step 1, find your local council's website. Step 2, look for something called the Change of Circumstances form. Step 3, fill it out very carefully. 4, upload your scanned documents. 5, and this is a big one,
update your bank's direct debit details. And finally, step 6, just wait for a new, updated bill to arrive in the post. That's your confirmation. That's not all, though. Here's where most people go wrong. Updating your council tax is a fantastic first step, but honestly, it's just one piece of a much larger puzzle. To really avoid that domino effect we talked about, you need to be consistent everywhere.
Your legal identity needs to be the same across all official records. Any little mismatches can create friction and problems when you least expect it, so it's really important to think bigger than just this one bill.
So who else is on this list? Well, definitely HMRC for all your tax records. The DVLA. Did you know driving with an outdated name on your license can lead to fines? Yep. The Passport Office, that's an obvious one. The Electoral Register, so you can actually vote. And of course, all your banks, lenders, and even your utility providers. Okay, let's move on and tackle some of the most common questions and mistakes that people make during this whole process. A little bit of knowledge here can save you a whole lot of time and frustration. First up, the big question on everyone's mind. How long is this actually going to take? What's the turnaround time? You should probably expect it to take about 2 to 4 weeks. Now, councils that have really efficient online portals like Liverpool or Knowsley, for example, they can be much, much faster. Submitting everything online is almost always the quickest way to get it done. Another major worry for people is whether this change is suddenly going to hit them in the wallet. Is the bill going to go up? And the answer here is a little nuanced. Just changing your name itself? No, that does not affect your bill amount. However, the life event that's behind the name change often does. For instance, if you get married and your partner moves in, you'll probably lose that 25% single-person discount. But on the flip side, if you separate and you now live alone, you might suddenly be eligible for it. And here's a fun fact that catches so many people out. If the name on your bank account doesn't perfectly match the name on the council's record, your direct debit payment can actually be rejected or bounce. It's such a simple mismatch, but it can lead to missed payments and, you guessed it, fees. Now, while this process is often pretty straightforward, there are definitely times when your situation might be a bit more complex. So let's talk about when it might be a really good idea to get some professional help. A good tax accountant can do way more than just help with a name change. They can double-check your tax band is correct, make sure you're claiming every single discount you're entitled to, help manage the tax for multiple properties, and even handle appeals and disputes with the council on your behalf. As the experts at Pro Tax Accountant like to say, navigating council tax can be complex. Investing in getting it right from the very start is the single best way to save yourself time, money, and a whole lot of stress down the line. And that really brings us to the final, crucial question you should be asking yourself right now. Are all of your records truly up to date, and are you absolutely 100% certain you're paying the correct amount of council tax? If you're even a little bit unsure, or if your situation feels complicated, please don't leave it to chance. Reach out to the professionals. For expert help with council tax and any other tax issues, you can contact Pro Tax Accountant on WhatsApp or by phone at 07985689912, or you can email them at info@protaxaccountant.co.uk. And just a quick disclaimer before we go. The information in this presentation is for general informational purposes only and shouldn't be your sole basis for making financial decisions. It's really important that you consult the tax experts at Pro Tax Accountant before making any